because my fiance thought that he was bi or pan for like the longest time.
And you stayed with him?
And even no, wait, this was before we met. This was way before we met.
Dating a gay dude?
This was way before we met.
I want to tell you something.
And
if I even had
wait, can I finish the story though? Because I feel like it's important for context. He even met up with a guy, and then he was just so turned off. He was kind of sad because he went through so much trouble, but he actually was like, I can't believe I've just been whatever, confused, fantasizing, whatever, and then turns out he's like super straight.
Fantasizing though?
A lot of men.
I think that's
like watching videos with.
Concerning though. That's like to question. I feel like if I'm fantasizing about a woman, I'm questioning my sexuality.
Yeah, but like, you know, but only up until that point that he met someone in person. After that, no fantasy, no anything. He's like, you know, I tried it. I think sometimes he tried to meet someone in person. Like, nothing happened because he was so turned off. And then I think sometimes like people just want what they don't have. Like, people are curious about things in life. I think sexuality is just one of them.
Listen, just the fact that a man would come and doubt himself and say, maybe I'm not for me, it's a huge turn off.
Yeah,
he's not a real man. Like a guy even talking about it and it passes his mind, it could be that in 10 years from now, when he had this little thought, it could turn around and maybe
resurface. I'm pan,
yeah,
so
and you don't know,
like
but you don't listen. It
would be a double standard.
It's
for
the
me.
age, but it's not you. You're not the problem. You don't understand. You are too young to even realize it. I'm not saying it in a bad way. But it could be that the guy was debating. He have like issues that he's embarrassed from the family, embarrassed from you, embarrassed from what's society gonna say. You know, and in 10 years' time, when he's already strong emotionally and have this strength to come out, he would come out. When a guy even mentioned that, to me, it's a huge red flag.
Well, I do know there have been like 2 accidents. Obviously, I'm not going to share his trauma on this podcast. Like, I don't have his consent to do that. And I do think that's actually why he had this fantasy, basically.
This is your guy now?
Yeah, like there are 2 incidents
with trauma
that happen.
Too. I've heard of a lot of stories with victims of trauma, like turn out to be
trans or LGBTQ.
There's nothing wrong with, you know, being on the spectrum of like with your sexuality, but it's a problem when you're using people. Because I was being used.
Oh, yes,
so that's what I'm saying. I was like, I don't have a problem with somebody being gay. I just wish like you would have voiced that, but like don't bring me. What if I had gotten pregnant? You know, what if I would have been with this person?
But a lot of married men
is being affected.
But what about the current girlfriend?
Oh, she doesn't know. I reached out to the poor girl. I was like, hey, girlie.
How did she break up?
Does she care?
So the conversation
No, not the hey, girlie. Obviously, I was very respectful. I'm like, you should know, like, this person might be leading you on.
But if you said to him, so you said, hey, are you gay? He said, no, I'm not gay. And then what? You broke up or what happened?
He never admitted to being gay.
But how come you broke up?
I wasn't willing to be with somebody who was unsure of their sexuality and me and how I fit into the relationship anymore. But regardless, that's, to me, I'm already getting I consider that cheating, because I'm like, you didn't even ask me, like, didn't even include me in the conversation. So at that point, there was things happening behind my back, which I broke up for cheating. It was basically cheating.
No, that's fair enough. I was just wondering if there's any like...
You should kick him out just for being afraid to get infected with someone. That's the first thing.
That too.
No,
like,
but I wanted to say something. I think regardless, like if a man is a little bit curious about his sexuality, whether if he likes men or women, I feel like that is a big turn off for me. Like I don't have any problem with any like, gay people at all. I just feel like when it comes to men, I don't want to see it. Like it's okay if you do it, but I don't want to see it. But if you're dating me and you're like, I'm not sure if I like guys or not. Ew, no. Like,
can we Google the definition of homophobic?
Wait, guys,
for the record.
Wait, I would rather have someone.
Did I miss something?
I would rather have someone. I'd rather be dating a guy.
No, because I like girls. So it's like I'm not homophobic. I just don't.
You only don't like gay guys.
It's not that she doesn't like them. She just wouldn't want to be with somebody.
Wouldn't it be better
for
a guy to understand himself and like experiment with his sexuality and like figure out
just
what
don't
it is
do
that
it with
he
me.
wants?
Just don't use it.
Wouldn't it be better that he figures it out when he's young versus when he's settled down, has a wife and kids, like 30 years later? I think that's fine.
But it's not fun when you're in a relationship with someone.
Totally.
That's not cool at all.
Can I tell you why it's really wrong when you say the word?
Why you think it's really wrong?
Why it's wrong? Okay, because when you're young and you're experimenting, it's like these little girls who experimenting and think they look for the sexuality to be boy, and they have only a transition of being a tomboy, and then society pushed them even further. A lot of guys, when they were young and had trauma from something else, and they start to debate their sexuality and say, oh, I tried this, I tried that. God forbid, they hook up with a guy who is a pervert and do something to them that they're gonna stuck in that trauma. They're gonna think they gay forever, because a lot of gays not born like that. They go off on their train of trauma. So I don't agree with that at all.
I agree.
I don't know.
I think if someone comes to you and you accept them for who they are, and you know very specifically your role in their life, why does it matter what they feel attracted to? Just
I would say the reason why it matters because like when guys are intimate with each other, the way that they have sex, like that's whatever you're doing with him, I don't want that in me. Like, and that's just the way that I'm picturing it.
Yes,
not just
no one at the table is saying that they don't like gay people. They're just saying that some women here don't want to be with a man who's like sleeping with another man.
It's not even that.
Reasonable. And then it's easier to catch like HIV and stuff like that through the anal.
And I think sexual preference,
but it's not even that. You ask a very important question. I want to answer this. When you're in your 20s and you ask that question, it's okay. But when you be married with someone over 10 years and you have kids, and you have this male, I don't even say man, it's a male that he's not sure and debating with his sexuality, and he needs to be a father and a provider and a protector, and he's debating, and his sexuality and urge more important than the big picture, which is the kids, the house, and everything. He's not going to be a leader to your family. He's not going to be the protector for your kids. And to you as a woman, when you get older and when you have to run your, the whole picture of the family, you're gonna suffer if you're gonna have this mentality. Oh, it's okay, he can just experiment, it's his sexuality. You're not marrying a man. You're marrying a boy who's not sure, and in the end you're the one that's gonna get affected, because you're not gonna stay young forever.
But like I said, he already figured it out. This was way before we met. Okay, and then also you're assuming that I want kids, which I feel like, but and then you're also assuming there's this like power dynamic, right?
But
like,
you don't know if you figured it out. Let me tell you something. One of my best friends.
No, listen, I've heard it all. Like honestly, I could change my mind. But however, like who says I'm not providing or?
But I'm not telling you to change your mind. I'm trying to tell you that I know personally a few people. One of them is my best friend. That he was in a debating area, right? And he got married because he wanted to have kids with a woman, with a family. And he said, worst case scenario, we get divorced after 5 or 10 years. She's going to raise the kids.
I have a lot of friends like that too.
Wait a second. I make good money, and she's going to stay at home with the kids. And the second thing that you said, it's okay, I'm making the money. You're not a man. A woman, it's not a man. It's completely different between men and a woman. What you're doing, it's not really matter. It's matter what he does, because he's the one that's gonna give a role model to your man, to your kids, to your sons, if you have kids. Exactly.
I just feel like it's really up to you. It's your life. Like if you love this guy, that's who you want to be with, and that's the way you accept him.
How old
are
you?
You?
I'm 26. Same as
that's the problem. Everybody think, oh, it's my life. I do what I want. It's up to you.
Wait,
but it's not right. It's not correct to think like that.
Your issue
but what is correct?
My issue?
No. Like let me clarify.
Very subjective.
Guys, stop. There's been